I don't know if you've been following the headlines, but for the past several months, it seemed like new South Park episodes were essentially being held hostage from viewers as Paramount Plus and the creators of South Park battled back and forth in what is being called a $3 billion franchise over essentially the streaming rights of the show. And I gotta say that I was concerned. I still think South Park is culturally relevant. Their episodes are more hit or miss now, but it's not that long ago that they released Enter the Pandaverse, and it became culturally, a phenomenon for several weeks. Well, there is a $3 billion blow up that had put the future of South Park at risk. But I'm happy to report right now that the creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, have navigated an epic win. In addition to a bizarre story from Isaac Hayes' son about leaving the show that randomly came out at the same time. So let's talk about that, because I do think South Park, nowadays, the wokies are far more afraid of it than anyone else. And I have to believe that the woke dorks were really, really hoping that this deal was going to go through. Now, the premiere for the 27th season of South Park was set for, I believe, next week or later this week. But it was in serious doubt amid wrangling between the series creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Paramount Global, which is trying to merger, and they're talking about they canceled the late night show. They might cancel the daily show. Basically, the only two programs on Comedy Central. I mean, honestly, just get rid of Comedy Central altogether. At the heart of the dispute, a new 10-year, $3 billion overall deal for Parker and Stone that would be more than triple the valuation of the current deal that expires in 2027. According to people familiar with the situation, Park County, the South Park's Pairs Entertainment Company, believes that it struck a basic framework with Paramount Global on an agreement. I think Paramount pre-acquisition was interested in a broader range of possibilities that would have been approved by Skydance and Redbird, an insider close to the negotiation said. But Skydance, as you know, as they're trying to do this merger, that's why the Colbert Show got canceled, which maintains that it has approval rights on contracts as it pursues regulatory approval of its merger with Paramount, has other plans. The duration of the proposed deal has emerged as a sticking point of the negotiations, with Skydance refusing an extension beyond 5 additional years amid a fast-moving media environment in which it's prioritizing cash reserves. There is no resolution at this time, but all involved recognize the need for a quick and positive resolution. A spokesperson for Park County on Monday said Skydance Paramount declined to comment. A Skydance rep had previously told The Hollywood Reporter that under the terms of the transaction agreement, Skydance had the right to approve material contracts. It is increasingly likely that the dispute ends up in court. Parker and Stone have brought on Brian Friedman, a prominent lawyer, bulldog negotiator known for aggressive legal maneuvering, to tee up what could be a lawsuit accusing the Skydance regime, including CEO David Ellison and Jeff Shell, the Redbird Capital executive who will be the president of the new Paramount if the merger is greenlit, of interfering in contract negotiations. So, obviously was headed towards complete disaster, complete potential disaster. But last night or earlier today, South Park creators had reached a $1.5 billion streaming deal with Paramount. The creators of why is this so zoomed in? Let me see here. Yeah, it's at 200%. What's going on here? I guess a little better would be so you can read it. The creators of Comedy Central South Park have reached a breakthrough Monday in tense negotiations over the streaming rights of the long-running satirical cartoon. Paramount agreed to buy the global streaming rights for South Park to bring the show to a company's digital service, Paramount Plus, for the first time in the United States, according to 3 people close to the negotiations who were not authorized to comment, but they leaked it anyway. The deal with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, through their Park County production company, values the global streaming rights at $300 million a year, according to 2 people close to the agreement, who could not discuss the matter publicly because the deal is not yet final. The 5-year deal It means the show will fetch $1.5 billion, and that's just for streaming. The sum preserves the show's status as one of the world's most valuable TV franchises. I have mixed feelings about this. I still think, like I said, that South Park can be extremely effective in cultural, dominance and cultural commentary. I didn't really care for the special so much. I think was Into the Pandaverse that was that a special event. I think part of the reason South Park has lost a bit of its power is simply because it's been extremely difficult to find where the heck to watch the show. Is it on Paramount? Is it on Comedy Central? Is it on Netflix? Is it on, well, now we know, in 2019, previous corporate managers had licensed South Park to rival HBO Max as Paramount's streaming service was still in development. But that decision left Paramount Plus out in the cold, much like the fictional mountain town of South Park. The HBO Max deal expired in June. Paramount this spring offered HBO Max and its parent Warner Brothers Discovery an option to co-license the show, which should have given Kenny, Kyle, Stan, and Cartman a home on 2 streaming services, both Paramount Plus and HBO Max. But over the weekend and on Monday, the talks with Warner Brothers Discovery collapsed, prompting Paramount to go it alone, according to one of the knowledgeable sources. Now that means that South Park will remain will have a single exclusive home. That's it. A single exclusive home. That will be Paramount Plus, which means unless you have other means, you're going to be paying for yet another streaming service. Both sides were motivated to reach a deal before Wednesday, when Paramount's Comedy Central kicks off the 27th season of South Park. So that's tomorrow. The premiere date had already been postponed amid behind-the-scenes drama as Paramount prepares to be sold to David Ellison's Skydance Media. I wonder if the episode was set to roast Paramount. I wonder if they have to do a quick rewrite or something like that. Paramount and Skydance also wanted to avoid any public relation fiascos when Stone and Trey Parker take the stage Thursday at FanFest Comic-Con in San Diego. Thanks to the arrangement dating back to 2007, Park County is entitled to nearly half of the show's streaming revenue through joint venture and Paramount called South Park Studios. The revenue sharing arrangement should enable Paramount to eventually recoup about half of the licensing fee that it already agreed to pay for the rights. Months of deal talks were complicated by Paramount's pending sale to Skydance. In addition, the two sides had been separately negotiating a new deal overall for Parker and Stone to renew their previous $900 million pact that kept the show on Comedy Central with new episodes through 2027. Parker and Stone's teams are seeking a higher valuation in order to produce new seasons. Skydance has the authority to approve any major Paramount transactions as part of the arrangement it struck last year. Initially, Park County asked for a 10-year deal, but Skydance balked, insisting on a shorter span given the uncertain television landscape. I mean, for that kind of money, I want more than 10 episodes. Is that a crazy thing to say? Is that a crazy thing to say, as a customer and a consumer? If I have to pay for Paramount Plus, I want 15 to 20 episodes a year. Is that so much to ask? 10 episodes is nothing. So they end up walking back to a 5-year deal. And now, at least as far as it stands, you can only watch the show on Paramount Plus or by other means. I did want to add this to the end because I thought it was pretty interesting. Isaac Hayes' son now admits that Scientology leaders quit South Park on his father's behalf. His father never even quit the show. It should still be Salisbury Steak Day, according to Isaac Hayes III, son of Isaac Hayes. In a recent interview with Cracked, Hayes III blamed Scientology leaders for his father's South Park departure. Hayes Sr. said, who was a Scientologist, voice of Chef on South Park for a decade before quitting the show in 2006 over the 2005 episode Trapped in the Closet, which criticized his religion. Hayes' exit came with a statement in which Hayes accused the episode of bigotry and intolerance. Hayes III said at the time his father was recovering from a stroke and was literally learning how to talk again. making it impossible for him to be able to quit under his own volition. In Hayes III's telling, the controversy didn't even begin until months after the episode aired. It really wasn't a big deal at the time. That January 2006, my dad had a stroke, and it was during the course of his recovery, I think in March, that they re-aired the episode. He said when it re-aired, that's when Scientology got upset. His management and publicists were Scientologists and were making the decision for the singer. They quit on behalf of the show, or on behalf of Isaac Hayes. Quote, those decisions about his involvement in the show, his leaving the show, were made by those people and not him. He would never have quit the show. He loved that show. He was making a lot of money doing the show. So I take issue with the way those decisions were made on his behalf, because it put him in the position to actually have to go on the road and tour before he was ready. Claiming his father loved Matt and Trey, and that his character, Hayes III, believes his father would still be on the show today had he not been forced out. I guess that's a pretty big bombshell. I'm happy that South Park is back. I'm looking forward to one of the few places online that still, will take the risk and roast both sides. My name's Jeremy. This channel is called The Quartering. Make sure to leave a like on the video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.